And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very, very exciting day, the 10th of July. And it's a beautiful day as I look out the window. 15 degrees and sunny in Brisbane. Well, today we're going to talk a lot about all the vaccine and the rollouts and what the current restrictions are in certain parts of the country. And of course, we will also look at some clips and glimpses of the poster launch of Go Pure Queensland's India Day Fair 2021. Well, let's get straight into the news. So, how does this extra vaccine doses and how will it help us?
Every piece of data we're seeing in New South Wales at the moment is currently trending in the wrong direction. The curve, which had flattened for a few days when cases started to subside in Sydney's eastern suburbs, is growing again now that cases are primarily being found in the west of the city. Of course, we wouldn't be in this situation with this lockdown if our national vaccination rate was quite a bit higher. Today, about 10% of Australians over 16 are fully vaccinated. About 32% of people have had a first dose. And the smaller states and territories, Tasmania, the ACT and Northern Territory, have made far more progress with vaccinating their populations so far than the larger states. Victoria, of course, had a bit of a boost as well with the thanks of that extra Pfizer allocation from the federal government during their last outbreak. New South Wales is right down at the bottom with Western Australia. Now, the bringing forward of doses from Pfizer on the delivery schedule means that what we're going to have in August is about 1.5 million more doses than we had planned for. And that's great. That means a whole lot more people can get vaccinated sooner than they otherwise would have been able to. But it's still only a fraction of the total number of doses that we're going to need of Pfizer. So it's not going to make a huge difference to the pace at which Australia can move into the next phase of this pandemic. But it is worth mentioning just how many doses Australia currently has available in fridges that are not yet being used. Presumably most of these are AstraZeneca doses. At the last federal government update, there were more than 3 million doses available for use that hadn't yet been administered. And that 3.1 million, that's more than enough doses to fully vaccinate every unvaccinated person over the age of 70, more than a quarter of whom are yet to get even a single dose.
There you are. We have enough, as you reckon, if we get that 3.1 million, which will be enough for everyone. But, what is happening with this rollout? Why is it taking so long? Where are the supplies coming from? But right now, first of all, let's look at, all the new restrictions that are being put in place, while some areas are easing restrictions because they're saying that, this is something we need to deal with and deal with on a daily basis. And it is something which is here to stay. So might as well get used to it and move on. Other areas are trying to contain it and trying to suppress it. Is it happening? Is it helping at all?
The New South Wales Premier has foreshadowed Greater Sydney's lockdown will extend beyond next Friday, with a number of new restrictions in place from today. Gladys Berejiklian says unless there is a dramatic drop in the number of people infectious in the community, stay-at-home orders will continue. The number of cases rose again today. 44 locally acquired infections, a record in this outbreak. Alarmingly, only 10 of those had been in isolation for their entire infectious period. At least 27 cases spent some time in the community while infectious. And the isolation status of a further 7 cases are now under investigation. That means up to 34 of today's cases were infectious in the community. It's prompted the state government to tighten restrictions. From 5 o'clock this afternoon, outdoor public gatherings are limited to 2 people, excluding members of the same household. People must stay in their local government area or within 10 kilometres of home for exercise and outdoor recreation, with no carpooling between non-household members. Browsing in shops is prohibited, plus only 1 person per household per day can leave the home for shopping. And from Sunday, funerals will be limited to 10 people. Some other figures today: 43 people are currently in hospital with COVID. 10 are in intensive care, and of those, 1 person is in their 20s. The number of close contacts in the state has doubled overnight from 7,000 to 14,000. Health authorities have also listed a number of Sydney suburbs of concern where COVID cases are emerging. They include Sutherland, Kareela, Sylvania, Hurstville and Maroubra in the southeast, and in the southwest, Narellan Vale, Bosley Park, Smithfield, Fairfield, Glenfield, West Hoxton, Bass Hill, Greenacre, St John's Park, Bonnyrigg Heights, Panania, Bankstown, Canley Vale, Caramart, Casula, Chester Hill, Edensaw Park, Greenfield Park, Moorebank and St John's Park.
Wow, so that's quite a lot of areas that have been identified there, and look at that growth. That is really, really alarming. People are not following the rules. Yes, Devika, they are not. But what's happening on the other side of the country where we are going to be easing some of the restrictions? Let's hear from Mark McGowan.
We're now on track to get life back to normal. This afternoon, I can confirm WA has recorded no new cases overnight. Just to repeat, there have been 0 new local cases of COVID-19. This is a great result, and it means we are on track to return to our pre-lockdown life on Monday as planned. From Monday morning, there will be almost no restrictions inside Western Australia. That means no masks, no capacity limits, no crowd limits, no service restrictions, no limits on visits to loved ones in aged care and hospitals, and the return of dance floors, major events and live performances. In short, WA is about to snap back to life, to the life we love, a community that's open and free, and most importantly, safe. There will still be contact registers, COVID event plans, and restrictions on visiting certain remote Aboriginal communities. We also have our controlled interstate border, which helps to protect us. Safely getting back to a restriction-free life in just 2 weeks is an incredible achievement, something Western Australians should be very proud of.
And so they stood looking at what's happening in New South Wales, and did you see the number of suburbs and the areas that had been highlighted, so they have not been controlling it, and now that's why Western Australia yesterday announced those hard border with New South Wales, and of course that is taking into account all the big cases in New South Wales and safeguarding the interest of the Western Australian people, and of course now they are having put those measures in place in time, they can now enjoy life as they love it, as he mentioned. Well, are we doing enough to make sure that the jabs are given to all our frontline workers? What's been happening in that area, or are we falling short?
Allied healthcare worker Phoebe Wells is fully vaccinated.
I found it really difficult to get the vaccine, but at the end of the day, it was about protecting not only myself and my family, but the people that we support and that we work closely with.
The 24-year-old works with deaf-blind clients. She wants the government to make vaccination compulsory.
As long as the government is wanting a high level of compliance with vaccinations in the sector, then they're going to have to make this mandatory at some point.
Despite strong calls from the community, National Cabinet has not moved to mandate vaccines, but is instead recommending them.
While they're not at this point recommending mandating of the vaccinations for disability care workers, they are strongly recommending it.
It would be fair to say we're disappointed.
There are over 105,000 workers in the National Disability Insurance Scheme, but fewer than 17% are fully vaccinated, and just over 36% have only had 1 dose.
It's important to remember that the disability sector is much bigger than just those in the NDIS. The number of workers is closer to 300,000. Advocates will continue campaigning for the entire workforce to be vaccinated.
We'd really strongly urge the government to take the next step to actually mandate vaccines for the sector.
Late today came a win for the disability sector, with the government shelving plans for its controversial NDIS independent assessments after a meeting with state and territory ministers.
Our first thing that we agreed on is with the Independent Advisory Council's recommendation that independent assessments not go ahead, and I was certainly in agreement with that. But we also did agree that we would work together on a new participant-centric approach
The government will go back to the drawing board, and the minister says there will be further consultation with the community. Naz Campanella.
And of course, it must be done in consultation with the committee because with the community, otherwise it is just not going to happen. And it will happen, but the community will not be very happy because they like to be consulted, and it's always good to get that opinion from the grassroots levels as well, because many times people sitting in offices making those policy makers and advisors are out of touch of what's actually happening on the ground. So on the ground, people know better because they see that on the cold face every day, day in, day out, rather than the policy makers and senior advisors sitting in offices who have got out of touch of many of these things. So, community consultation is, very important. And good morning, Chandadas. How are you? Good to see you on the program there as well. So right now, there have been more than 1 million doses of the Pfizer to arrive next month. Is that in time or not?
Who says drinking's not good for you?
A pint of beer is about $14 in Melbourne these days, so a free one helps to stretch anyone's budget.
Melbourne publican Tom Streeter was offering free pints to vaccinated patrons until the health regulator stepped in.
They rang us up and they directed us towards a part of their website that outlines the do's and don'ts of promoting the COVID vaccine.
A pub with no free beer causing a rare outpouring of political bipartisanship.
I think this is a bit heavy-handed. The national interest is to get vaccinated.
If PA's suggestion of a beer is going to help as part of that, then good on PA.
Although sourcing vaccine rather than being rewarded for it is still the main game.
Please do not think that the New South Wales government thinks we can live with this when our rate of vaccination is only at 9%.
The New South Wales Premier insistent that surging COVID cases in Sydney's southwest left her no alternative but extended lockdown.
It was always known at this time of the year that we would still be in the suppression phase.
If Scott Morrison's spin was a vaccine, we'd be sitting pretty.
By year's end, Australia will receive 40 million Pfizer doses, the bulk in the final quarter, although delivery is speeding up. In June, about 1.7 million Pfizer doses were delivered. That's expected to increase to 2.8 million this month, rising to 4.5 million in August, a ramp-up in supply about a month ahead of schedule, which means under 40s might be able to receive the Pfizer jab a bit sooner.
Right now, our focus remains on getting people who are aged over 70 vaccinated.
While the Sydney outbreak continues to worry all leaders, the Prime Minister and Premiers today agreed on a few things that give us a glimpse of the future under COVID. South Australia will run a trial of home quarantine for fully vaccinated returnees from low-risk countries. And from next Friday, anyone entering Australia will have to declare their vaccine status. But back at Port Melbourne's Prince Alfred, they're finding an alternative for free beers.
We think it might be something along the lines of a half-price palm.
That's certainly worthy of a second shot. Andrew Probyn, ABC.
And of course, it is worthy of a second shot. I mean, when we're talking about the shot, not about the beer. There was a joke that someone said, "Oh, I've had my first shot, and I'm waiting for my second shot as soon as the bartender arrives." But they're talking about the real thing, the real jab. And we're good on that publican for offering free beer to vaccinated people. Wow, things that people will think it is such a wonderful country, Australia. If you can look at those kind of feeling that comes outpouring from the goodness of their heart. Well, right now we're going to, Perth, we looked at that they're going to be easing restrictions, but they have been hit by major storms. Here's some glimpses of that storm. Coming down the steps the right way. Not an easy task, cleaning up after the floods. Been there, done that. We know how it feels and how hard it is. And, if you are cleaning their houses, you have to be there on the ball. And as soon as the water is receding out, you need to be housing and getting all the dirt off. If you leave it later on, you know the consequences of all the residual silt that will always be there. Well, right now it's time to take a commercial break.
GlobeNet Realty. GlobeNet Realty has been the longest established, trusted and respected agency in its trade area. Washa Chandra, Director of GlobeNet Realty, provides honest and ethical service to her customers. If you are thinking of investing in Brisbane real estate market, or if you are seeking professional property management, then you should contact Asha Chandra today on landline 3865 4466 or mobile 0419 775 416. And for further updates, log on to our website www.globenetralty.com.au. GlobeNet Realty is your own local real estate agency. Situated at Shop 52281 Sandgate Road, Boondall. GlobeNet Realty. Real estate is our world.
And real estate is the world. And don't forget that on the every Wednesday we have the real estate update with Usha Chandra. Here's a glimpse of what if you haven't watched it yet,
compared to the units. The houses was 15.6% over the last financial year, and unit was only 6.8%. So as we have been discussing over the last few months, that always people have got, they are looking to buy houses, they prefer the houses compared to the unit market.
So there you go. Let's take a look at what's happening from there. The houses, what sort of flight options the houses are more favorable, and people favor houses over units and whatever. And right now also, of course, on Thursdays we have the travel update with Tanvi Goyal. So here's a glimpse of what you would have missed. Available.
From Sydney also we have flights going as usual to international destinations, though the domestics have really, kind of changing. But Emirates and Qatar are there from Sydney as well. So every Tuesdays there is a flight of Emirates which is going regularly without any issues. This is the one which I would recommend you the most. But other than that, we have flights on Thursdays and some Qatar flights as well. So Emirates flight is on 11th, 13th, 17th and 19th. And the Qatar flight is on 8th, 10th, 13th, 16th from Sydney.
So there you go, the travel updates with Tanvi Goyal. All these episodes, the real estate episode and the travel updates are available on our channels. And you can, if you have missed any, you can go back and always watch those. Well, right now, we'll move on to the functions and events. Right now, let's take a look at the launch of GoPio Queensland's India Day Fair poster. Well, it was the poster launch, not the event. Someone said, why are you holding it now? So it's not the event itself, which is on the actual day, 15th of August. Well, it is very nice that we have had the opening or the launch, and the launch was officiated by none other than our very GoPio senior personnel, Parasuram Punji, who was at the launch of GoPio in 1989 in New York when it was actually formed. So, he's been there and, of course, been instrumental in the formation of GoPio Queensland. Well, as the poster launch, so, we try to get the poster designed every year. So here's how it has evolved from 2011 till today. Yes, 2014, 2015, 2017, 2018, 19, and of course 20. We did not have one because of COVID. And here's the big poster for this year. And this year the poster girl is Andrea Lam of Dance Masala, and now every year we will feature one poster girl.
Adab, salam, everybody. I hope you all had a lovely, lovely Thursday. It is Thursday. I so wish that it was Friday today, but no. So I welcome you all tonight to the poster launch for India Day Fair 2021. Woohoo! Just before we kick off the evening, I need to just introduce you to a few house rules. First one, please have your masks on if you're walking about. If you're sitting down having a drink or eating, that's fine to take your mask off, because I don't know how you will manage that. If you need to go to the toilets, they are right outside the door, and turn right. Just after the elevators, there is a small door that says restrooms, so you know where.
Hello everyone, my name is Ishana Chandra and I would like to invite you to Gopio Queensland's India Day Fair at South Bank Piazza on the 15th of August. A free, fun-filled family event celebrating India's independence, a new venue and bigger, bolder programming. See you all there!
So there's young Ishana inviting everyone to the India Day Fair there as well. Well, right now, let's hear from Mayat Homtait and what he has to say about Gopio.
Wonderful to be here tonight to celebrate Gopio, and with all our Indian friends. There's one thing we've got on the Gold Coast: we are so blessed. We're blessed with wonderful weather, we're blessed with the way we've handled pandemic, and we're so blessed with the Indian society that is so generous to help not just Indian descent but also the wider community. So here's celebration. I love being here.
And as he mentioned, he loves being there, and it is wonderful to see that kind of support from our mayors and councillors. So here's a message from Councillor Angela Owen.
What I'll do.
Hello everyone, I'm Councillor Angela Owen, and it's with great pleasure once again that I throw my support behind India Day Fair to be held this year on the 15th of August at Suncorp Piazza at South Bank in Brisbane. This is for many years, and it is wonderful to know that it is continuing and growing from strength to strength.
And strength to strength is where Gopio Queensland's India Day Fair is going, and this year we have partnered with the best event management company within this area, which is Equitas, which is run by Pavitra Nouri, and he will do a wonderful job. For already what he has done and achieved is just amazing. Well, of course, when we look at Gopio, we've got here in Queensland 2 chapters, our chapter here, and of course Gold Coast chapter, and both the chapters working together. And here's the support from Gold Coast chapter, message from the president of Gopio Gold Coast, Pradeep Gaurasia.
Gopio Queensland is organising the India Fair Day. We at Gopio Gold Coast is supporting it, and we encourage all the Indians in Gold Coast to join them. All the best.
So there you are, it's wonderful to see that kind of support, and that everyone's helping and supporting the events as we go. And it is that kind of support which keeps us going. And it is wonderful to see that the community come at large at the launch. The launch had to be, organized very quickly, because when the first one, which was organized, had to be cancelled because of the snap lockdown, and after the snap lockdown, we had to quickly arrange, another day and quickly send out the invites, etc., which was sort of done in a bit of a hurry. But again, it was wonderful to see that so many people came in, especially even at such a short notice, that they were able to come and enjoy the festivities and the poster launch. And of course, our poster girl, Andrea was there with her dance item as well, and as usual, she just did an amazing job. I'd like to invite everyone to mark your diaries for the 15th of August at Roma Street. I mean, not Roma Street. See, it always rattles off the tongue because we've been saying that for so many years. It is at the Suncorp Piazza this year. And of course, we have Pavitra Nuri, the event manager for this year. There you go, wonderful performance there by Andrea Lam, and also Usha Chandra, welcome once again. She's watching while she's also conducting our open house. So don't forget that every Wednesday we'll have the real estate update right here with Usha Chandra of GlobeNet Realty. So ladies and gentlemen, that's about all we have for you in this weekend segment. Remember that, if you do go out and about, don't forget that mask. I know many times I do, I go to the door, then I come back in. Oh, I've forgotten my mask. So make sure that you take the mask, and if you do attend functions like the one that we've just been watching, of course make sure that you follow all the rules and regulations and do whatever the right thing. Always do the right thing and try and be up to. Well, right now it's time to say goodbye. Until next time, enjoy the weekend. As I said before, it's a wonderful day here in Brisbane, sunny and 15 degrees, and just looks magnificent out the window here. So until Monday, it's goodbye from me. Enjoy the weekend, and most importantly, remain safe.